Hello and welcome to this MFMA martial arts video. I am Grand Master Daw. I am the Grand Master of the MFMA, the Snakefist Karate Federation and the Global Shorinkenjitsu Academy. This is just a free video I've put together for a bit of fun. Anyone can watch it. If you can share the video with your friends and stuff, that would be great. Go viral. Now, I'm just a normal person who does martial arts all the time. I teach people. I have hundreds of students around the world. It's my hobby. So I'm no millionaire, big shot. I've got more money than everyone else and all this stuff. I'm not about that. I'm really about all of the training, and I know there's lots of people been saying crap about me, and I don't really care, because the main thing is the police got involved and the police took my side over these trolls in America. Now, with lots of the crap in America, you could think, well, surely he hates Americans now. Well, no. Most of my students are in this country and America. So there's no love lost between me and America or any of my students. I have global clubs. Anyone in the world can come and join. I don't really care what people say about me, unless they're in my clubs and they're actively training. It doesn't matter. So I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. In this video, I just want to talk about appearances and fighting and martial arts. Now, we've all been brainwashed by Hollywood and Bruce Lee and Karate Kid and all of these films. It's all crap. And to be honest, in real life, what someone physically looks like, how much jewelry they're wearing, what, where they come from, how they speak, it's nothing to do with how good they are at fighting. So appearances can be deceptive. Lots of people I've trained with, some of the best martial artists I've ever trained with, they look like they've never done martial arts in their lives. They wouldn't look very good in a Hollywood movie. Most people wouldn't. You see, it's artificial. It's there for entertainment. And the more that you train in real life, the lower your opinion will be of people like Bruce Lee and all of this shit. Okay, so in the real world, there is nothing. Someone might be big and muscly and all of this stuff, but from a grandmaster's point of view, like my point of view, they've still got the same weaknesses as everyone else. So what somebody physically looks like, where they come from, their attitude, is nothing to do with how good they are at fighting. For example, I saw an arm wrestling championship, and there is a bloke, he was a big guy, a young guy, and there were people queuing up to beat this guy at arm wrestling. And lots of the men were taking their shirts off and look at me, I'm so muscly. They put their hand up and they got beat. Because they thought, because they worked out, because they looked tough, because they thought they were tough, that they were. But they didn't have the strength. You see, this guy was all technique and he just beat them in seconds. It's the same with fighting. There's nothing to do with how you physically look and how good you are at fighting or martial arts. They're not related at all. So please be aware, very important lesson, appearances can be deceptive. And nowhere is this more true or relevant than in the world of martial arts. video, this section, I'm going to show you an advanced kicking exercise. Now what you're going to need to do is warm up and stretch before you even attempt this exercise. For beginners, I wouldn't even bother to try this exercise. You need to memorize, you need to know at least 10 different kicks, and you need to be able to do them practically in your sleep. So what we're going to do, this is all about balance. Now with martial arts, you need balance, and balance in your entire life. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a fighting stance. I'm going to demonstrate with my left foot. So I'm facing this way, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep the foot up. Don't put the foot down, and do different kicks one after the other. So this will really test your balance. What you need to do is have at least a little bit of a bend in the supporting leg for your balance. We are not kicking for power. We're not going as hard as we can. Try not to put your feet back down. So I want all different section kicks. So from here, this is looks a lot easier than it is. So from here, left foot, keep your guard up. So front kick, side kick, hook kick, axe kick, inward crescent kick, low side kick, and so on. Keep going. So for example, that is the technique. Remember to keep your foot off the floor. If you feel like you're losing your balance, bend your knee more. So I would start with about 30 seconds with each leg and then build up to a minute. So we're not actually fighting anyone. This is a balance exercise, an advanced kicking exercise, and it's also good for practice with point sparring. With point fighting, in lots of tournaments, you don't have to hit as hard as you can, you just tap and you get the point. So this sort of thing, you keep the feet up and it's easier to get the points. So that's the advanced kicking exercise. In this section of the video, I'm going to teach you about Kata and martial arts. Now, lots of people think that don't know martial arts, they think if a Kata doesn't have lots of high kicks and somersaults and gymnastics, then the person doing that is no good at martial arts. Well, real martial arts has got nothing to do with gymnastics, throwing the nunchucks in the air and turning around and clapping your hands and all of this stuff. So we're not gymnasts, we're martial artists. Now, Kata, to the people that don't do martial arts, it looks like a dance. You know, like it's choreographed. But the thing is, it's what is behind the dance, the form, the applications of the Kata that shows the real strength of the martial art. And lots of people would say that the applications of the Kata are actually the style. Most of the martial artists in the world that do forms, that do Kata of any kind, don't teach their own students the applications. And it's very lazy, but unfortunately it's very common. And a common excuse is the applications are only for the master and senior members. They're not. Every student should be taught the applications of all their forms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a Kata that I've done with the nightstick, and at first you're going to look at it and think, oh, that doesn't look very impressive. Then I'm going to show you the applications and you will understand that there's a lot more to it than meets the eye. So here's my nightstick. This is my form. So we're going to start from here, we're going to turn, outward strike, strike to the groin, flip, hit, kick. Going to go back like this. We're going to pivot on this foot from here, up. So you won't be able to see me from that angle. Here, like hand in front of his eyes, punch. Then step in, inward outer knife hand to the ribs, and outward strike at the same time. So from here, now I'm going to do a side kick to this side, pivot, outer knife hand, this part of the hand. I'm going to shuffle it a bit, then go straight back out, this hand, level with the neck, this tonfa strike to the chest, from here. Now I'm going to turn to face the direction I started. I'm going to do a low X block, left foot forward, right closed fist on top. I'm going to step forward with the right leg, and open hand X block. The right hand is open underneath, like this. Then I'm going to do a double punch, and step back, both to the chest, step back. So, from the beginning, so that is my form. In the next section, I will go through the applications of the form. In this section, I'm going to show you the applications of the form, so those of you that have never done martial arts before will realise once you break these forms down, there's a lot more than meets the eye. So it might not look like something out of a Bruce Lee film, but there's a lot more to it. So the applications are, we start here, we turn, so fighting stance. So we're going to do, the first move is a left outward chop, so that could be to the neck, the side of his head, high section. Then we're going to flip the tonfa this way, and we're going to strike with this part to the stomach or to the groin. So from here, 1, 2. Then we roll the tonfa like this into this reverse grip, and we're striking here with this bit to either the nose or the top of the forehead, top of the head or the forehead. So from here, from the start, side of the neck or head, stomach or groin, forehead or nose. Then we're going to do a kick, and then we roll the tonfa back and grab it. So the weapons, every weapon should be viewed as an extension of your body, like a cat has a tail. So when I use the weapon, it's actually a part of my body. So you notice how I did these different moves to get you used to the different postures of the nightstick. Well, with the empty hand, it would be an outer knife hand, a spear hand, and then a downward hammer fist. So from here, it would be outer knife hand chop, then a spear hand to the stomach or groin, then the same part as with the outer knife hand but with the closed fist to the nose or to the forehead, to the top of the head. So this is what it looks like without the tonfa. Like that. Then we turn from here, we turn, and from facing the other way we're like this. So if you imagine an opponent, the application of this, if you imagine an opponent is close to me and he's like this giving me grief, I don't have to literally put my hand over his eyes. I could be a foot away, and I could go like this, and his natural instinct would be to bring his hands up. So I go like this and step forward, and if you hit someone hard enough with that, you could kill them with one move. So that's the application of this one. And if they're still standing, you step in, and this acts as an outer knife hand strike. Again to the side of the head or side of the neck. And this one, inward outer knife hand. Same technique but with the palm up at the same time. So from here, 1, 2. Then we're going to do a side kick to the side. If you imagine I had this opponent here facing me, and someone from this side rushes towards me like this, I can just come in, bang, side kick and knock him down. Then, if he's still standing, I'm going to pivot. So if you imagine from this angle, 1, 2, I do the side kick, then I pivot, outer knife hand. Okay, continuing from the outer knife hand, we are here, the outer knife hand to the side of the neck, the side of the head. From here, we're going to go, move the foot back from fighting stance, and we're going to go out like this into a forward stance. So from here, out your knife hand back and punch. Now this hand, the fingers are facing this way, like this. The fist position is there. So this is against the neck, and this punch to the chest or bottom of the sternum. So if you imagine that I've got somebody who's too close for comfort, he's in my face going like this. So I do the outer knife hand, and that will drop most people. If you hit them on the side of the neck hard enough, or you hit them in the temple or something, you can just drop most people with that technique. So I come back, and then this part, the outer forearm, goes against his throat, and I shuffle in and do a punch. Now this one is good if they're too close. If you put your outer forearm against their neck and just move forward, they have to move back because of all the pressure on the throat. They've got to go. They've got to move with it. So from here, outer knife hand, back, and the foot comes in a bit, up on the ball of the foot, then like this. 1, 2. So that's the application of that one. For example, someone's too close, I go like this, bang, I walk into them to get them to move back, and I do the punch. Now, anyone who's actually had the misfortune of being hit with one of these at full pelt knows you could kill someone with one punch. So these are just the applications. From here, bang. Now we're going to turn left into a low block, X block. For example, the application of this, if my opponent from this angle is kicking me, doing a low kick, clumsy front kick. Most people, they do a kick and they're like this. They haven't had martial arts training. Their kicks are clumsy at the best. So I could go back, I can deflect from the X block, I can move them to the side, and I can come in with the counter attacks of my choice. So from here, now we're going to step forward, and we're going to do an upward X block, but the right hand goes from on top and closed to underneath and open, like this. So this is blocking, for example, a downward swing or a downward stab with a knife, block, redirect, punch, outer knife hand, low side kick to the side of the knee. For example, that's just like off the top of my head. Being a Grand Master, I could come up with self-defense applications from now until the rest of my life, you know. So here we are. Low X block, high X block, and then we're doing, the last move is a double punch. Now, several applications of this one. The double punch, you could punch one person to the chest with both hands, or you could have two people. If you're unlucky enough to have two people trying to attack you, you come in, bang, both of them at once. Okay, so that's the applications of the form. From watching the applications, those of you that have never done martial arts before know, now that you've watched me and you've seen me explain all the moves, that it's not the fact that it looks good means they're a good martial artist. There's nothing to do with that. And also, those of you that have trained in martial arts for years will realise that unfortunately, there's millions of people that have spent decades doing all of these kata and they've never been taught the applications. So once you know the applications, then you will understand the style. And lots of people argue that the applications of the moves of the kata is actually the style. So those are the applications of the Tonfa kata.
Hi, I'm here to talk about the MFMA, Martial Arts School. I love the MFMA because I can do martial arts without being judged. Grand Master Daw does not care where you're from or whether you're a talking horse or not. Everyone is welcome at the MFMA. I am a horse, but with the MFMA I can now kick like a mule. I can learn martial arts and even do nunchucks now. Whoever thought a horse could use nunchucks? My friend is a pig and he is lazy, but he is also a member of the MFMA. You don't have to be a martial artist to join the MFMA or do anything. There is no pressure. All the animals love Grand Master Daw, especially the animals from 3 Animal Kung Fu. Grand Master Daw is a genius. We can all learn a lot of martial arts from him in the MFMA. Thank you, Grand Master Daw. I'm off to practice my horse stance. Look out for the Invincible Horse Fist Martial Arts course. Coming soon, people.
A long time ago I did a video with all of my different punches and stuff. Now lots of people I think would have seen that video and thought, what the hell is he doing? Well, actually what I was doing was a world record, but there is nobody good enough to verify it. So for example, sitting stance, normal punch. That's one. For example, the normal punch, you can punch to the nose, to all the different areas, the chin, the side of the jaw, where the jaw meets the skull, the jaw, the neck, the chest, the ribs, the stomach, the groin, the kidneys, base of the spine. I know all of the applications and where to strike with every single punch. This exercise is an advanced exercise, a demonstration of more different hand strikes than any other martial artist can do. So for example, in my sitting stance, that's normal punch, high, medium, low. Then I go straight on to the next one. So what I'm doing is I'm actually demonstrating all of the hand strikes from Snake Fist Karate. It's never been done before. Basically, it's a world record. Lots of my students know I can demonstrate more hand strikes in under 5 minutes than anyone else in martial arts. Plus, being a Grand Master, I own the Snake Fist Karate Federation as well. I know all the applications, like I said with the first punch. I know exactly where to strike, everything. So it's okay being able to do these moves, but I'm one of the few people who can actually show you all the applications of all the moves as well as demonstrating them all. So some people might have said, oh, he was looking at a piece of paper, it was staged and all of this stuff, but it's not staged. What I'm going to do is go into sitting stance and demonstrate all of these moves live right now, and you can see that I'm not looking at any piece of paper or following on from anything. I've memorized and I can apply all the techniques. I'm not punching as hard as I can because there's no point punching as hard as you can in sitting stance because I'm not fighting anyone. Okay, so here we go. All of the punches in Snake Fist Karate. And that's it. Those are all the punches in snake fist karate. On command, I can demonstrate, as you've just seen, more punches than any other martial artist in the world. Lots of my students know it's a world record. I know lots of people saw me doing all these punches and thought, what's he doing? But now you know. So that is the best hands that you will ever see. I'm not the strongest person on earth. I'm not the fastest. When it comes to actual techniques, head and shoulders above practically anyone else. So that is a world record, unofficial world record. In this section of the video, I'm just going to talk about basic fighting and training with a partner. Now, most people that do martial arts in a dojo or at home, you have to be practicing fighting. Now, if you're practicing fighting with your friends at home, you're training at home, use light contact. Now, this dummy is perfect for training at home, practicing target areas and stuff. But the thing is, I'm using it to prove my point here. If you're going in for a tournament and you're hitting people as hard as you cannot expect any mercy, you see? So if you're just going in for a tournament and it's point fighting, you have to just use the lightest contact. Now, lots of people I've trained with in the past don't have any control. And what I mean by control is they couldn't be fighting, even with pads on, they couldn't do any fighting without hitting as hard as they can. Now, you should be able to do moves and tap like I did there, and it wouldn't hurt anyone, but it makes contact. So this is how we train, how I would teach people. When you're training with your friends, you do light contact, so you're basically just trying to make contact. Now, you have to understand the rules if you're going into a tournament. You don't want to practice for point fighting and find out it's full contact, hitting as hard as you can. So you have to understand the rules and know what you're going in for. But the thing is, in tournament fighting, what you need to do is obey the rules and just do the best that you can. So for example, try and do your best, but if it's just light contact point fighting and somebody is trying to hit you as hard as they can, hit them back as hard as they can. In fact, even better is to just put your hand up and say, this guy's punching as hard as he can. This is not part of the tournament, you see. So if you're training in the tournament, you have to observe the rules and good sportsmanship, because that's the only way that you really win, you see. But if you're training with your friends or you're training in a dojo, treat people how you would want to be treated. So if I'm doing fighting with my friend, bang, you see, that wouldn't hurt a little kid, but it makes contact, so it lets them know if it was a real fight, you just go as hard as you can. But this is the point, you see, I would fight anyone with the light contact training, because that's what it's all about. The only difference is in a real fight, we go as hard as we can. So when you're fighting with your friends, practice good sportsmanship and practice light contact. Light contact control. You see, you should be able, especially the higher grades, you should be able to kick someone in the head and it just taps like this. And that is control. And I've trained with some people that are high grades at Kung Fu and similar styles, and they don't have any control. If you cannot control yourself, what's it going to be like in a street fight? You see? Even if you're fighting in real life, somebody attacks you on the street, you have to be able to defend yourself only to the level that you need to defend yourself. For example, if this guy throws a punch at me, I block, I do maybe 1, 2 and a kick, and that's it. If I block and I go 1, 2, 3, and I take him to the ground and I bash his head against the concrete and stuff, that's not self-defense, is it? So you need to control yourself. Lots of people do martial arts because they want a black belt and they want to control the world and I'm more powerful than you and all of this crap. But it's actually self-improvement and improving yourself. And all the trolls and people that bicker online will never understand that, because they've never actually trained. So those are some tips on fighting and self-control. In this section of the video, I'm just going to talk about trolls and all of this stuff. To be honest, I'm not really bothered what losers online think about me that pretend to be martial artists. I had the police turn up and they actually told me that Dale Dugas is not a martial artist. Now what a surprise that is. And there is a guy called Brett Gordon who Dale Dugas threatened and called names. And Dale Dugas, for all of his martial arts mastery and being so tough breaking some boards, he couldn't even turn up to Brett Gordon's dojo by himself. Now, is that the sort of thing that a martial arts expert does, threatening people online and pretending to be tough? And then backing out, backing away from your own words. So Dale Dugas and people like that, you bark and all of this stuff. When it comes to backing up your words, you're a barking dog with no teeth, you see? There's no point in me being angry about these people because you're never going to back up your words, and I am one of the best martial artists on earth. I'm really not bothered about what the trolls say to me because look at the books I've got, look at the videos I've got, the courses. I've got more to offer than practically any other martial artist on earth, and anyone on earth can join and learn my courses, watch my videos, teach your friends, teach your family. Compare, for those of you that don't know, compare what I've got to offer to what these trolls and idiots making up lies have to offer. They are inferior, they're not worth the paper they're printed on. And I'm not scared of any of these people. If 10 of them came here to fight me, they would all lose. So there's no point pretending to be a Grand Master or an expert like me when you're not, because you will look stupid. Now, I'm trying to be as polite as possible, but I'm actually a very down-to-earth, friendly person, and thousands of people know that I'm a martial arts expert, and I don't actually wish anyone any harm. If you're the sort of person that makes up lies about people online, and you genuinely believe your own lies, then I feel sorry for you, you see? These people are bickering and moaning online, and meanwhile, I'm training, I'm developing new skills, and I've got hundreds of students around the world. Now, there's nobody round here, everybody knows I'm a Grand Master. Hundreds, thousands of people around the world know, and there's nobody going to kick my ass in the world. So there's really no point in being angry and bickering and all of this stuff. What we need to do is we need to focus on the training, which is what I do. I'm busy training, I'm training 5 times a week, and I do not respect people that just do this. This is your martial arts, trolling on the internet, keyboard warriors, forum fighters. You're not welcome in my club. Anyone who wants to learn martial arts from someone like me who's actually won tournaments, who's beaten European champions, made people look stupid. I've made lots of people look stupid because they thought they were tough, but they don't do any training. We all need to calm down and just focus on the training. So when it comes to trolls and stuff, I'm really not bothered because they are losers, and the most important point is the UK police are on my side, you see? So the police know these idiots are just liars and they can't do anything, and that's all they can do is this. This is your kung fu, this is your karate. Well, I train in real life, and I welcome anyone in the world who wants to learn martial arts from a real Grand Master. So thank you for watching.